In the world, there's a lot of tension in the air. There's inflation happening, there's war happening, there's AI, and there's a lot of reasons to feel anxious. There's uncertainty about the future, there's anxiety. But at the same time, we also have the most amount of opportunity we've ever had in the world. People are living the longest they've ever lived. You can literally go to the supermarket and find more ingredients than the King of Spain found 100 years ago. And with the internet, you can learn anything, you can connect with anybody, and you can build a business, go from zero to whatever that you want to build from wherever in the world. So we actually have a lot of ingredients and opportunities to create something great, to get more done, to have a good life, to have more focus. And I'm not trying to say that you should completely neglect unstable times or the times that we're going into right now, but it's all about our perception, our mindset, the way that we look at it. And today I want to talk about your orientation, the way that you view your life. I was with Fatma about 6 weeks ago. We were driving in the desert. And in the desert, it's customary that you give people like a bottle of water or some food or something like that. And we passed by this route, and there's this guy on the side of the road in the desert completely by himself. Roll down the window and we say, hey, we have a bottle of water for you. And the guy, he sees us and he grabs another bottle filled with a white liquid. And he comes and we exchange and we say, what is this? Oh, I just milked the goats.
Oh,
And he, as he's walking away, we're like, well, how much do you want for this? How can we pay you? And he says, don't worry about that. If you want to do me a favor, pray for rain.
wow.
And we went in the car and there was like silence. Because whether we are living in a world full with technology and speed and we're not going to be milking any goats anytime soon, it does spark some element of truth in our life. That the way you look at your life, the way you orient, the way your mindset is the way that you perceive your life. And I want to tell a specific story that has an incredible impact on me, that I think hopefully will connect with all of you. Because all of us here, we're entrepreneurs, we're people that are making things happen. We want to go out in the world and we want to build things and we want to create stuff. But sometimes when we go out and do that, it creates a lot of stress. It can create overwhelm. And it's sometimes hard to see, okay, how do I manage this? Am I doing the right thing or not? And about, I don't even know how long ago, but I was building my business about 10, 15 years ago. And I was struggling so hard. I just came off a high of being a professional breaker, a breakdancer. I traveled all over the world. I stood on the biggest stages. I had the peak of what I wanted to do. It was my dream. My dreams came true. And my confidence was so high. And I said, well, whatever I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make it work, because I made this work, so I'm just going to make this work as well. And I started again from zero thinking, I'm going to make this happen. It doesn't matter. And for years, I was struggling by myself because I was starting a new business and I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the connections, I didn't have the experience. All I had was my will, and I thought, oh, that's going to be enough. If I want it, it will happen. But as the months and years went by and the bank account slowly went down, I started feeling worse and worse. And I remember sitting on the river in my town and just feeling so depressed. Wow, this is the first real big failure in my life, trying to make this happen. And because I felt so bad, I didn't know what to do, but you know what? I'm just gonna take some time off. I didn't have any money. I just had enough money for a plane ticket, and I knew a dancer that was performing in the Canary Islands. So I thought, oh, the Canary Islands, that sounds like really nice. Maybe I'll go and chill there. So I went all the way there. I hung out with him. We had fun. And in the middle of the week, there was a day where I said, you know what? I want to go out by myself and just reflect a little bit and explore the island. So I took a mountain bike and I biked as far away from civilization as I could. Kind of like we're here right now. And at a certain point, I reached this mountain. And I'm with the bike, and I think, well, can I get on the mountain? Well, you can only walk. And I was kind of like, I can keep biking, I can keep walking, and something was drawing me into walk that mountain. So I left my bike, and I started walking up. And as I started walking up, I was inside of myself. I was thinking like, why is this not working? I have all this will, I have all this experience. I want to make this happen. Am I on the right track or not? Is this the thing I should be doing or not? Well, you have done this, you could do that, blah, 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 blah. And I was just thinking, and I think I went up for like an hour. I was walking up for an hour, just being in myself and just reflecting. And as I got all the way up, I reached the top. And as I reached the top, I turned around and I saw this amazing view. I was in a valley. I could see the ocean, and I could see the sun shining off the ocean. There was nobody there, and it was an absolutely beautiful view. One of the most beautiful views I've ever seen in my life. And at that moment, all my stress, all the pain that I had, that was bottling up, that I was keeping down, it all came up, and I couldn't help myself, and I started crying because it was so beautiful. And I thought to myself, what am I doing with my life? There is so much beauty, and I'm in my head and I'm like trying to figure this out, and I just have to look up, and there are so many beautiful things out there. And at my lowest point, right at the moment where I was standing there, behind me, without me knowing, there was a huge eagle. This is a true story, I'm not making this up, yes? A huge eagle. And it was flying, and it was starting to get closer and closer and closer to me. I was all the way at the peak, and just at the point where it was almost touching me, I was there, I was just sitting, I was crying. I looked to the side, and I see this huge eagle right next to me, and I was afraid because I thought it wanted to attack me. So I took my bag, and I go to the side, and I'm looking, and I'm afraid, and I see this eagle. It's huge. It's 2 meters long. It's open. And it didn't want to attack me. It was just slowly flying in front of me. And I saw it fly just in front of me. And I was looking, and I thought, well, this means something. And it was as if the eagle was saying, bro, you're doing it the wrong way. This is how you do it. And it was just like, it was literally in front. It was not moving. It was just, because there's a lot of wind, so the eagle can fly and can just stay steady. And it was just, you see, it had a lot of struggle. It was challenging, but it was flying and it was enjoying. So as I saw that, I thought to myself, I gotta do it. So I go stand behind the eagle, I take off my shirt, and I stand like this behind the eagle. And the eagle flew off. And then I stayed on that peak for like 2 hours thinking about, what does this mean? And what I understood from the eagle was, the eagle is one of the biggest birds, if not the biggest one. It's a leader, just like us. And the leaders, they want to fly the highest. They can fly the highest. But in order to get all the way on top of the mountain, you need to be able to willing to take the wind. You need to be able to take the struggle. And he was flying there, struggling, but enjoying. And that's when I understood the eagle is using the wind as an invisible force to propel itself up. And as it's fine-tuned into the wind, it can go up, it's a struggle, but it's enjoyable. And I think for most of us, when we go out and we begin something and we try something, there's an element of being drawn to something, or it's fun, or it's great. But as we climb, we find this formula, or something happens, and we just start pushing, and we think like, well, I can do it, my will can do it, and we think that we just need to push through. But the ego doesn't do that. If the wind goes that way, it's not trying to fly that way because it knows that if it's going to fly that way, it's not going to get anywhere. It's going to get burned out. It's going to get stressed. Nothing's going to work. And it's just going to say, fuck this. So what I want you to think about for your life is I'd like you to think about the ego. Sometimes life is not exactly giving you what you want because your ego or your will is trying to push through something and making it sound like it's like this. I will build my business. This is the political view. This is how my spouse should react to me. And the more we try to push in and control that, the more of the anxiety and stress and uncertainty it gives. And like the eagle only flies when the wind is good. It knows how to fly, it knows how to be directed, it knows how to lead, but it's led by a greater force around himself. And he knows how to tune into that. And I think our life as a leader, a mindset that I try to think about, is trying to find the balance, is trying to live the paradox of knowing when to lead and when to be led. When to commit and when I'm trying to control the situation and go too hard. Does that make sense for all of you? So I'd like you to now just sit with that and think about that. Because we all have a part of the ego inside of us. I think we can all connect with that idea of like flying high, but still having struggle. And I'd love for you to think about the following question. What in your life are you trying to control? What in your life are you trying to control? Take a couple minutes.
Exact.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.